Welcome to Las Películas Sábados Gigantes at the Cinemarijuana Theatre.
Yeah.
That's right. We are the shitlords of cinematic scrutiny, the bastard children of ancient cinematic celestials who convene each week within the holy sanctuary of the Cinemarijuana Theatre for a ceremony called La Loteria, where a mystic random number generator decides who will choose a film that we will view and then podcast about. So introductions, start clockwise, starting with me. I'm Ed.
I'm Zeb.
I'm John.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm Raul.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
All right, and we are here today to discuss from 2010 the film Klown the Movie.
Yeah.
We do themes where we check out. It's called Cinema Under Glass, where we pick a specific theme, and then all the films we watch until we've all had a turn our films on that theme. And the theme right now, the Cinema Under Glass, is Bros Before Hoes, Chicks Before Dicks, the buddy picture, the bromance. And we had Klown the Movie from 2010.
Clown with a K.
Yes.
And a V, actually.
Yeah, actually. All right, so before we discuss it, let's go to Kenzie for a plot synopsis.
Okay, Clown with a K is about these two grown guys who go on a canoe trip, which is actually a tour de pussy. And meanwhile, one of the guys wants to prove to his girlfriend that he's capable of being like a good fatherly figure and mature adult. So he brings along this young kid, Beau, who has a micropenis, which you find out and see in the film.
He suffers from
It's
micropenis.
really the climax of the film.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be? I'm certain for pedophiles across the world, it is the climax of the film, literally and
Ew.
figuratively for them.
It's a bad case of baby dick.
Aw.
Yeah.
Is there a good case of that?
I guess not.
He pees on his nuts.
Babies.
Yeah, it was funny because I was thinking Zeb must have seen, when we watched Child Bride, Zeb took it as like shots fired
Yeah. It was like,
and wanted to really ratchet
I'm
that
just
up.
trying to one up Child Bride
man.
with all my ticks.
Mission
Okay.
accomplished.
All right, Kenzie. Anybody in the balloon zone for this film? Any man meat on display?
Both of the guys are blonde white guys, which is not typically my type. So, no, but the good friend who ends up being very promiscuous, maybe.
The Gordon Ramsay lookalike.
Yeah.
What about Beau and his micropenis? Is he in
Ew.
a balloon zone?
No.
Well, I
No.
imagine he'd have to.
He's
Or is
a
he in
child.
the Beau zone?
Yeah, well, he's obviously in the Beau zone. I think he'd have to
No.
find a cure for that micropenis that he suffers from first.
I think even as an
Well-
adult, Beau wouldn't be much of a catch.
No.
I don't know. Nothing
I
against
don't
him, but
no, maybe we'll get to the bottom of that
looks like he's going to grow into an adult version of the other guy.
when we discuss this. Maybe we'll find out
Yeah,
for sure.
that kid is like half Augustus Gloop and half that kid from Bad Santa.
Yeah, he did look like Augustus.
little
Gloop.
Herman Merman.
He did, yes. Thurman Merman, yeah.
Aw.
Okay, all right. So, yes, Klown Movie from 2010, selected by none other than Zeb from the Cinemarijuana Theatre. I'll give you the sticks and the seeds and stems right now on this film. It was released in 2010. The film is from Denmark, so I'm probably going to pronounce all of these names wrong. It was directed by Michael Norgard, but the O has a line through it.
Don't pronounce it.
That means you don't pronounce the O, the silent O.
Nurgard.
Michael Nurgard. And then it was written by Casper Christensen and Frank Vam, who are also the stars of the film.
Yeah.
And the film also stars Marcus Jess Peterson as micropenis Beau.
MPB?
This as I said, the movie is from Denmark. It was filmed. The filming locations, I guess, Rye, Jylland, Denmark, Copenhagen City Hall, and Copenhagen, Denmark, and the Skanderborg Festival in Skanderborg, Jylland, apparently, which is also in Denmark.
Borg.
Surprisingly,
Accessible
yes.
by canoe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
As is most of these locations.
Yeah, one of the
canoe commute.
Well, that was actually one of the most fascinating things I think I learning about Denmark is that you can just traverse the whole country by canoe. Apparently, that's pretty fascinating.
It's called the Denmark canoodle.
Yes. Okay, so we're on now to 3 minutes, 3 words, where we give every member 3 minutes to say what they thought of the film and sum it up in 3 words.
No, we've got to go to Zeb.
Well, we're starting with him.
Oh, right.
Whoever picks.
Yes,
the film,
whoever
we'll
picks
start
starts. So, Zeb, it was your turn to pick. You picked Klown the Movie, spelled Cloven, if you're having a hard time finding it online. Give us your 3 minutes, 3 words on Klown.
with. I didn't know what movie I was gonna pick that day. Just felt like a comedy, so I wanted to bring like a foreign comedy because I'm always obsessed with like how comedy is around the world. Whereas in America, you know, you have your good comedies and your bad comedies, but in like other parts of the world, their comedies are strange and weird. Sometimes it only fits for that specific demographic. And with Klown, I loved it because it was kind of like a train wreck you can't keep your eyes off of.
For sure.
And I just love uncomfortable comedy and comedies of manners. And, this was like the ultimate one. Plus,
Very much.
it has everything from date rape, man-on-man butt sex, micropenises.
Eye injuries caused by jizz.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
What more could you ask for?
And
I was
your
starting
good
to wonder why
old-fashioned
this
kidnapping.
movie brought my name up so much. And it's becoming quite clear now.
Our special guest star, Jason Land.
Yes, so
chiming in there.
not here to view the film, but to join us on the
Unfortunately, because it
podcast.
was his ultimate
Yeah,
movie.
You really missed
You
it.
know, and it had a lot of. It spoke to me as part of you guys because it had an eye patch in it from the Eye on the Prize short film that you guys
Yeah.
did.
You can see that on Toothless Richard Productions' YouTube channel, Eye on the Prize.
You know, just got lots of reefer, lots of prostitutes, and it's got the composer of Alley Cat portraying himself as a brothel owner. So what more can you want?
Do you have his name off the top of your head?
Brett Burt.
Ooh, all right.
Nice.
That was Chris Elliott's favorite song on Get a Life.
And
Great show.
but some of it's kind of lost on us, like some of the guys that were discussing coming on a girl's neck.
The pearl necklace.
were actual serious authors and respected people of Danish literature. So to put it in American terms, just think of it as Neil deGrasse Tyson telling you to give your girlfriend a pearl necklace
Oh.
and explain the scientific reasonings behind it.
Oh, that's even funnier. It was already hilarious.
Well, I think it was important to get to that those facts about it, you know,
Yeah.
and really explain why it's important.
So I enjoyed the film. I haven't laughed at a comedy that hard, and even though it was filmed in 2010, it still holds up to this day, unlike other films of that era, like Superbad and, you know, all those Judd Apatow's pieces of shit.
Hey,
So my
I
3
like
words
those.
are
That's a podcast for another time.
micropenis, prostitutes, and butt sex. Is that one word?
Sure.
Hyphenated.
Okay.
Hyphenated.
Yeah,
Hyphenated
There
butt
you go.
sex.
Okay. Excellent. All right, John, your turn. Give us your 3 minutes, 3 words on Klown.
Well, yeah, definitely. I'd never heard of this movie before, or we mentioned it was from a TV show, right? And you did that.
I was going to later.
Okay,
but
well, yeah, it's never heard of it. Anything. So when it first started, I didn't know what to expect, and it was a little, you know, the beginning is a lot like I didn't know this is gonna be good. I mean, I should not have doubted Zeb because he always throws the
he
heat.
brings that hot fire.
Right, and so, but I was a little concerned because I didn't like the main character. What's his name?
Frank.
Frank. Yeah, at first he was like almost just too uncomfortable and awkward, and like the kind of guy you want to spend a lot of time with. But by the time they got together and actually departed on the tour to Pussy, I was definitely well on his side, and you can definitely see how he's just very much the everyman who's trying to get things done.
Yeah.
It was real funny. Yeah, it was like I could see people being offended by it because there was a lot of edgy stuff to it, but I thought it was great. It really reminded me of Peep Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
the British
British-
sitcom.
yeah,
with,
it was-
Robert, David Mitchell, and Robert Webb.
Yeah, it was very similar. The two characters, like almost like a little older versions of those characters. You know, older and
Yeah, those guys. Yeah,
Danish or whatever.
Jez and
Mark,
and
right?
Mark after they settled down.
Yeah, if they had like more permanent situations. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it was cool though. It's fun. It's like a road trip. You know, it's definitely obviously a buddy picture, like the theme. It was a laugh riot the whole time, and I like that they really. It comes full circle too. Like even though it almost has a little bit of a false end, where you think that sort of like obviously the party's over and he like kind of failed, you know, but then it does pick up at the end and you got the little sort of epilogue at the end of the story. Everything worked out okay for him,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, almost.
Almost, you know, not completely, but almost.
Well, they don't learn anything, but
No, well, but and then it's funny too, like how his buddy, like how he just by him saying that his buddy was the one who put his finger up the girl's ass. Like, it totally got his buddy off the hook like that easily. And like, I mean, like,
This
really,
is
that's
too
all
easy.
it takes.
Yeah, she
Like,
was just waiting to forget
That's,
him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, something tells me that, and he's like, oh, I was saying it would take forever to get back with her. Like, as if he knew he'd be able to. It would just take a lot of effort. So they must have an interesting relationship. But yeah, it was cool. There's some Zeb showed us as a bonus features on the DVD. It's got an episode of the show. And I mean, it's really funny. They worked well together. It's cool that the same guys who write it, perform it, and I think that helps to bring like a realism to it, because I guess they're sort of playing exaggerated versions of themselves on some level.
Well, they are the writers as well.
Well, that's and I think that helps for them to portray the roles really naturally, as I think they're probably kind of playing to their strengths. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it and you're not easily offended by things of a sexual nature, definitely would say check it out. I know it won a bunch of awards. It was really big in Denmark. It came out like in the last week or couple weeks, and then it still made like it was all like the number one movie of the year in Denmark.
Oh, cool.
Of Denmark. So, so my 3 words are going to be what else but two-or-day pussy.
Excellent. Kenzie.
Okay, well, I'm going to be controversial here and say that I don't think this was a buddy flick.
What?
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to talk about that now.
No.
Okay.
Roasted.
I'm prepared.
Okay, well,
Well,
there's
still,
just a
shots
preview.
fired.
Okay.
Anyways, I like this movie. I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't like the little kid because I compared him to 2 other characters earlier, Augustus Whoop and the kid from Bad Santa, specifically him. And I thought it was like too much like trying to be that, but not being that good at it.
Too much gloop or too much merman?
Well, not enough merman.
Too much
Like
gloop.
the kid
Not-
was
not-
like
not
sort
likable.
of, but not. Yeah, not as likable.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as sorry for him. Like,
Right.
He was a little weird, and like instead of being like, like maybe they should make it seem more pathetic so you could identify
yeah,
with
he
him
should
more.
have been a little more sad.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It was inappropriate. It is offensive, and I did love it. So, my 3 words were, well, the first one was not buddy pick, because it's not.
All hyphenated.
All
And then my second one was not a micropenis. Or like, oh no, micropenis.
There you
Question
go.
mark, like
Crest-
not a
yeah.
micro penis.
Micropenis, oh
I
no,
can't tell,
perhaps?
Yeah.
Oh, and for
No.
the audience, for the record, it was a prosthetic micropenis.
Yeah,
they
we're-
revealed in the bonus features.
Oh,
that-
thank God.
It was not a real child
So
penis.
that-
So that means he has like cram his real penis into like this tiny.
They did it over clothes.
Yeah.
They actually show you
It's like a
J-
full.
just
like,
to just to
this
make
is
sure
not
like
real.
they're good. Like they actually in the bonus feature show you them making taking the prosthetic and applying like putting it on the actor. So you see that at no point was any child's genitals on screen.
The special effects guy was so mortified. Like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah. but
Although I
it's,
would like to
right.
point out that you can feel things through proxy or whatever that is, like that. Where
like the phantom feeling. So the
Yeah.
kid.
He had a
okay.
phantom
you
micro
could.
penis.
I'm not
Okay.
saying.
So
you
when
would.
that
why
guy-
don't we
when
just
that guy gave it a blowjob, is what you're saying?
I'm
that
just
you could.
saying.
Okay. Well, yes.
All right, on to Raul, I guess, right?
Yes, please, Raul.
This movie was pretty rad. I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I kind of did because you guys talked it up. I wasn't able to make it for the screening. I have a friend in Denmark who I was like, I'm about to watch this movie, this crazy clown movie. And she mentioned how good it was. She said the sequel's not as good.
Oh, there's
Clown-
a sequel too.
Clown
There's-
Forever. They go to Vegas.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, the extremity of this film is crazy. Normally when I see a great foreign film, I think this would be cool for a remake in the U.S., and that will never happen with this fucking film. And that's totally okay, because it's weird to have something so foreign but be so accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was everything was understandable, and it was a fucked up rad ride, and I couldn't believe how heartwarming the ending was. Because it was, to me, that was the biggest surprise of the whole movie.
Right.
After the crazy, like, sexual assault, the gay sex, and all this shit, it gets kind of, like, endearing at the
Well,
end.
that's what I was saying. Like, I thought you expected to sort of end on a darker note,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. It basically mostly just happy for everybody, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, and my favorite scene is when he's when he's, like, swooning the guy for the fucking truck. I laughed the hardest during that scene.
the man flirting.
man
That was
flirting,
so
yeah.
man flirting. That was so goddamn good.
That's how Ed actually signed me up for this.
It is. It works.
how I
It
got
works.
it,
I thought that was great writing too. Like the way they'd already like planted the seeds like twice,
Yeah.
and then calling back to it, only shifting it to the Frank character now.
And of course, he's so bad at it.
In the
Yeah.
most awkwardest way possible.
Yeah.
Just
Just
terrible
as he
man
did
flirting.
everything else to the film.
Yeah, that was rad. All right. Well, your 3 words.
Depraved cultural adventure.
Excellent.
That pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah,
Right there.
put that on the poster,
Yeah.
man. Okay, Dr. Matlis, your turn.
Oh, hey, I'm back.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, welcome back from the grave.
Yeah,
You
no,
rose from your gravy.
With a beard too.
Oh,
Who's at a
yeah.
symposium?
Stopped
Got the-
shaving after the sickness.
Got the rugged lumberjack look going on.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great defense against ninja attack because that poison they drip down on strings is just going to get caught in his beard instead of going into his mouth when they try to murder him in the night.
His
So,
beard will drink it.
yes.
I'm very at risk of ninja attack.
Well, dude, I mean, you know,
You got to be careful.
the STEM occupations are the future. So,
All right, on the clown.
yes.
This movie was rad. This was a lot of fun, and I'm kind of split on uncomfortable comedies. Sometimes they're really bad, and sometimes they're just amazing. This was one of the amazing ones.
Yeah. He's
And
doing it right.
yeah, because it just rides that line between like, I don't know. There's other movies like, just sort of the really gullible or, just not too bright, star of the show. I'm thinking of like American Pie, like sticking his dick in the pie.
Right.
You know, it's like,
Okay.
all right, you're gonna fall for that. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the uncomfortable comment is a lot of times they're not aware of how ridiculous they are. Kind of, they're not in
Yeah.
on the joke at any point. They're oblivious.
yeah,
to
but
it.
this, I don't know, something about this movie, it just really worked well, and it was hilarious. Just it was great, and yeah, kind of going off what Raul was talking about, like making a remake. It's like I think foreign films. I think it's just America that is just like so uptight.
yeah,
You know, it's like America wouldn't make this movie,
Yeah, for sure.
and
Hell
so
no.
it's so good to just kind of like get outsiders' perspective on like a different flavor of comedy, and
and a big part
Yeah.
of the location. The location's a big part of the story. I mean, you couldn't do that trip the same over here.
Right.
Like you couldn't. It just wouldn't be. The
I mean,
same
it would be
thing.
kind of some kind of road trip, but I mean
Maybe they would
that's been done.
Yeah.
sail down the mighty Mississippi or something.
Well, now you're talking about Deliverance, which could be a buddy movie.
Tour de Ned Beatty.
You got a
Gee.
you got a purty micro penis. Where the hell were you?
Just writing something down. He sure did, though, didn't
What
he?
the hell are you doing?
Well, you got 3 words.
Not really.
Man,
Excellent.
Well, let me
There
see.
you go. Nope, not
No,
really.
not really.
Nope,
Hey,
not
that's
really.
3 words. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well,
Well fabricated micropenis.
There we go. There we go. Excellent. All right, Chris.
where were you on that
Sorry,
one?
I was trying to
Follow
get
that.
my notes. I have
Follow
some
that
notes,
one.
I think. Although I didn't come up with 3 words, ironically. Yeah, okay, clown.
I can't wait to ambush Snig with this movie. Like
So
I
great.
haven't seen it, but like I'm starting to get a feel for what's going on here. And
Oh,
some
dude.
of the things
Yeah.
that will be coming my way.
Your name
But
was dropped
Snig-
many
You're gonna
times
love
during
it.
the
Snig will
screening.
never see this coming.
Oh my god.
Ultimate date movie for you guys.
It starts out fairly innocent too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It builds.
Yeah. Okay, I have a love for inappropriate movies, and this film is awesomely inappropriate. It offends in wonderful ways, new and hilarious ways, I guess is what I said. Okay.
It does.
Great flawed characters. They seem to learn a moral lesson, but it doesn't make them unlikable or superior.
Do they really learn
Yeah.
it though?
Well,
Or is he learns not to man flirt, or else
The
he's going
guy-
to get backfired?
Well, that's a skill. I
Man
guess
rape.
he's learning that.
But
Well,
wasn't
I was
he
gonna say-
flirting again? Like as soon as she was back, he
Yeah,
was like,
well,
"All right,
I
said
I'm
man
gonna-"
flirt.
But usually with characters they don't learn, anything, and that's why you like them. But these guys, he does learn a lesson in the end. And he actually
Well, I
gets the
guess
girl and-
I'm not necessarily to add fuel to this fire, but I guess the only one that really learns the lesson is Frank, so that could contribute to the
That's
not
true.
a buddy
He
picture theory.
The other guy, I don't know if he learns.
Yeah,
anything,
but
I do think the one guy does.
I think
learn
Zeb's
something.
right. The other guy learns to not man flirt.
but
Yeah, he
also
learns
too,
to not man flirt. He learns
You might have to, you might
responsibility.
end up bottoming from the top.
How to talk
I
yourself
do
out
get
of
I
the-
do get the impression though that even though Christian, right? That's the name of the character, Christian. Even though
Casper Christensen.
yeah, but the character in the film, it's like the Frank and is it Casper?
That's Casper.
Yeah.
It was
That's his
okay.
real name.
Okay, sorry. That Casper didn't learn a lesson, and that when he gets another wild hair up his ass for like Tour de Pussy 2, Frank is still going to get dragged into it somehow.
So they don't learn.
But but he does. But
I think
feel
he
like
learns
does.
something about fatherhood, maybe. But then look at okay, guys are gonna be guys. I mean, like Casper's always gonna be a poon hound.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get away from that. And because he's his buddy, yeah, he's gonna get dragged in a situation like that because they're friends. You can't learn.
Well, maybe that's why I
the
like
only
him.
the only
Yeah.
thing you could learn is like I'm not hanging out with this guy anymore.
Yeah.
And if that's your best friend, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah. I've
Also,
never
he's
heard
not
that. He's not a buddy
exclusively a
but-
poon hound.
Well, no, sure,
That's,
yeah,
he's a bung hound too.
yeah. No, he's a penis hound. He was
yeah,
taking
he
it.
wanted it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just,
Well, we
you
don't
know.
know.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
You
no,
don't
we
know.
do know.
No, no, I
sick
mean you
of-
don't know that he wasn't a bung hound as well.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sick of
sad.
American Puritanism.
Here, here.
For sure.
Yeah, even in a lot of offensive films, the religious rights bullshit agenda seems to like bleed through it. I think even the way our films, like Hollywood films, can be offensive. It's offensive in a way that's not offensive to the people who would be offended, which is bullshit.
So you mean simply by writing something raunchy, it's like automatically like a political statement? It's automatically like a rejection of like religious.
I think most of our
morality.
offensive shit is like safe and still. I think this steps a little bit outside of the normal safe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure.
Anyway, oh yeah. Can we have a rating system for secular people that is not beholden to Christianity? Okay, moving on.
You were on a good one that
Are
night.
we not long for this Christmas?
More young men should go on these types of trips as a coming of age. New traditions are the best traditions. Oh, okay. And then men's club. What the fuck happened and where'd they go? And then yeah, marriage is stupid.
Nice.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's some heavy hitting shit.
is
Is
that
that 3
what-
words?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Yeah.
Was that the end of your notes, or was that your 3
I
words?
think both.
That's right. That was my 3 words.
All right. Okay. Well, Ed, up to you.
All right, on to
Close
me.
this out.
All right, let me
3 minutes, 3 words.
try to get through this as quickly as possible. These are my notes that I said while watching it. The film might not have been Dutch, but it was Danish Dutch.
The hell does that
Okay.
mean? You know?
The film Dutch with Ed O'Neill. And,
Oh,
Ethan
okay.
Hawke,
Yeah. No. Okay. I do get that. Yeah. Well,
To walk us through that one.
right? I also wrote down.
You could also put on the box for this.
I wrote down Dad Santa. Kara Wackoff.
That's a little weak. You're getting the light.
Okay.
Where's that hook?
Fucking Rip Taylor over here.
Is a pearl necklace as a sign of love equivalent to farting at the dinner table if the food is good?
Ew.
Okay, well, you know what? Actually, just for the record, because since we've got at least one female here, Kenzie, I assume the pearl necklace would not be well received by you if it happened.
If you were asleep,
Are
and
you
woke
kidding,
up,
dude? She'd be like, "Can you do it again?"
Well, no, that's just like
And
honest,
what-
no bull. Like, let's say that happened. You woke up and your significant other had whacked off on your neck. Would that be a good thing, or?
Probably not if I was sleeping.
Yeah,
I
you
mean-
woke up and you just see Ed over you, like, "Oh, sorry, Kenzie."
Well, now I gotta get up
just love
and
you.
wipe it off, unless there's like a sock nearby.
No, she'd be more likely to wake up and be like, "Oh, aw."
What if you went to kiss him and he had given himself a pearl necklace?
And is that actually not how you do the pearl necklace?
Look,
'Cause
okay, look.
we're getting off
We'll
topic.
have to do a pearl necklace podcast. Okay. I don't know what strain of Kush they were smoking, but I want some.
Yeah.
The Rania debacle was a very Larry Davidian moment, I felt, where she shows up at the hospital with Bo to rat them out.
Oh yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was a very sort of,
Sure.
the
That awkward.
people in the right to be upset, but then overreacting
It was like a Danish Curb Your Enthusiasm right there.
In terms of
With a
the subject of the U.S. remake of this, I mean, this movie and then the episode of the show we watched afterwards reminded me of a British sitcom that I'm a huge fan of called The In-Betweeners. I think it was ran on Channel 4. And that it's basically a teen sex romp comedy with these four like nerdy kids, and they're just obsessed with like getting laid, and they're of course ostracized from society, and it's very raw and raunchy, and kind of this movie reminded me quite a bit of that. And MTV actually picked up the rights to The In-Betweeners, and they did a remake of it on MTV. Now this show it was called The In-Betweeners, I believe, and now The In-Betweeners is a show that the script, the dialogue is filthy.
Yeah.
It prides itself in coming up with new words to describe shit like all the time, and it's just absolutely as X-rated as it gets in terms of the dialogue. So MTV naturally had to neuter all of that. Now, needless to say, the show was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So
They're real
they actually have somebody has optioned the rights to this, I guess, and they want to do it with Todd Phillips, but. I mean,
Danny McBride starring it.
yeah, and it's what is it going to be like PG-13, and then we're going to get the unrated cut?
No,
on
it's just going to be
DVD or
like
something?
every other fucking Judd Apatow movie where they
I
drop
was
some
gonna
pop
say,
references. And
I could see it with James Franco and Seth Rogen.
But if they do remake it, if they do an American remake, if it doesn't star Jason Land, we riot.
Yeah.
True dat.
That's all I'm saying. So this movie was rad. My 3 words. Oh no, go ahead. My 3 words for this film is micropenis. Not bad.
Wait. All right, never mind.
So when I watch this film, which character should I be? Will it be obvious to me? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Within like the first time you see
To
it.
answer your question,
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's 3 minutes, 3 words on that. All right. So we would do Dank Nugs at this point, but John pretty much blew that wad in his 3 minutes, 3 words because there's not much trivia on this film.
yeah, there's not a lot of info,
So that is going to
and I
streamline
refuse to
things.
censor myself for you.
That is well, but hey, man, it's like a.
But what about for the
the
better-
group? That's what I'm saying. Like, oh well, I'm just kidding.
Who cares?
Okay, so
Who
on to Bulls Deep, where we discuss the finer elements of or the nuances of this film. So I think right off the bat, then we didn't write this down because I didn't know it was going to come up until the other night, but. It seems like the elephant in the room now is what I'm calling Condi's complaint.
Is that what's officially called?
Because it's
Sounds like an
alliterative.
old-timey medical
Well,
condition.
no, he's the first one to bring it to my attention, and
I got the
apparently,
Condi's complaint.
there's at least there are more than just he who feel this way. Before I put a finer point on Condi's criticism, I will say the general issue is that this is not a buddy film. Now, does anybody here agree that this film is not a buddy film?
I'm prepared to defend myself.
You know I do.
I know you do. Anybody else? Was anybody else going like, that
Well-
was really rad, but I don't know if it was a buddy film?
I think it's an interesting dynamic because I think there's actually 2 buddies in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hang on.
we
Before
are
we
gonna
get there,
talk about that.
let's hear
Seb's getting warmed up.
what the actual what the argument for it not being one is. Oh no, oh no.
Jeb is taking off his
Understanding.
pants.
He's risen.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I screwed up there.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm standing up right now. I got the microphone in my hand.
All right, Kenzie, lay it on us. And
All
then
right.
after I'll augment hers with Condi's as well.
Okay. I just think that with these bromances, there should be like certain qualifications to consider it a bromance. And I don't think, I think the main...
What are your qualifications for a bromance there, Kenzie?
Well,
Condi will do.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Well, hang on. Yeah, let her finish the
All right,
initial.
yeah, say your
the
piece.
initial
Say your
thing.
piece.
Okay, so I'm assuming we all are considering the main bromance to be the main guy Frank and Bo,
Correct.
right? Okay.
I
mean,
concur.
Frank and Casper.
Casper.
Yeah, Frank and
That's
Condi.
who you
Casper.
guys
No.
think the
No.
number
They're the
one
buddies.
bromance is?
No, I think if you distill it down to the actual core bromance, it's Frank and Bo.
That's what I was thinking, that it's supposed to be Frank and Bo. But to me, they never reached like a level of affection that would qualify to be like a real solid bromance. Like, sure, they had like a little happy ending, but like they don't mean anything to each other. That's not going to be a lasting
Okay.
like happy ending for them. They're not going to be best friends from now on, or have like some weird substitute father-son relationship.
Okay. All right. Now, before we rebut, I will also add that Condi didn't go into that specific detail about why he felt it wasn't a bromance between Casper and Frank. But when I rebutted that, it was a bromance between Frank and Bo. He said that Zeb did not select it thinking that was the bromance, that
Which
he
apparently
selected
is
it
true.
when he selected it thinking that
Shots
he
fired.
selected it thinking that it was a bromance between Frank and Casper, and that because that was Zeb's intention, that even if it legitimately was a bromance about Frank and Bo, that it is disqualified, that it somehow doesn't count because that wasn't Zeb's intention.
But Frank and Casper were buddies.
Okay, so hang on. All right, well, I guess, Zeb, let's let you take it first, and then we can, if anybody else has got points, we can discuss.
I really
Jesus.
don't give a shit.
Are you?
In all honesty, I really don't give a shit. One, they're a well-known duo in Denmark, so they're buddies. Buddy film, bros before hoes. It's a buddy film.
So the nature, the
So,
genesis
even though
of the
there was-
character's relationship.
Even
Okay.
though Bo was in there, I'm looking at our previous picks. E.T. You know, I'm assuming E.T. and Elliot. What lesson
Yes.
did E.T. learn from the film?
Not
go
to
on
come
Earth?
back to Earth.
Okay, a boy and his dog. The dog wasn't even in half the film. Once again, to the underground, we lose the dog. Is that still a buddy film or not?
Yes.
Savage Beach, is that a chick film or a hoes before bros film?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
All the
on, they were
President's
bros.
Men.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Did they have
I
that
think-
same affection for one another, or was that a working relationship?
Okay. Well, I think the.
I think if you're too strict, I think there's no movies out there
Yeah.
that maybe would follow the dynamic.
Tucker and Dale.
well, that's what
Was
I'm
it really between Tucker and Dale?
right?
Or
well,
Tucker
or the
and the
chick.
girl?
Yeah.
Right. Well, and then but with the girl, it would have disqualified it because that's a romance. But I think that's one of the things that we've learned
Yeah.
is that the parameters of this
It's not
are not
static,
so solid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not black
They're,
and
they're
white.
not, they're not. It's not like yes or no, right? Because what I would say is that well, when I was talking to Chris and John about it earlier in the week, is I thought that this was an interesting buddy picture, and unlike any of the buddy pictures we've had up to this point, because I thought it was a buddy picture about buddies, the subject. You've got. Now, it automatically, all that shit aside, it automatically qualifies as a buddy picture because both Bo and Frank go on this adventure together, and they both learn from each other, and the film at its heart is about them learning to be different because of each other.
Well, and like,
Yeah,
but
and
like
it
also
comes-
what Zeb said too. The story, the structure of the movie is about about Casper and Frank, and they are buddies,
right, but then
And
also
even though you've got that thing with Frank and Bo, which is really more of the focus of the story, the overall structure of the film is about this road water trip that these two buddies
right.
go on together, and these two, and the kind of, like I said, their relationship goes through the test on some level, and
because
they
the
do-
film is about how they start out not buddies and then become buddies. That's the core of the film, so that's why it counts. But also, I think it puts buddies on trial in a certain way.
'Cause what is a buddy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even and this would technically disqualify it because there's marriage and a pregnancy involves therefore sex. But I would even say it examines marriage as a buddy,
I'm
as
just
a
doing
buddy
this just
system.
to stretch because this seat is very uncomfortable.
Because here's the thing.
I'm not doing it to intimidate anyone.
In marriage, once you're past like the initial honeymoon period and stuff like that, what will determine whether your relationship lasts is if you guys can like stay buddies after that.
yeah, like if you're friends.
And so it's like so Frank is at the center, and it's about like his buddy relationship with all of these different people and how he navigates the waters of being a buddy with all of these different people. And this one kid in particular who teaches him the strongest lesson, or the big, most significant lesson of all.
So I think we can basically say for the record that Condi and Kenzie can eat a dick.
Yeah, they can
and
shove
it
it.
is a buddy movie.
Even
officially.
at the end,
You know what?
both pairs of buddies, something gets resolved.
Right.
Bo and Frank, they're kind of like, oh, dude, that was so much fun when we were camping and stuff. And then he's like, yeah, we should do it again.
Yeah.
Which means, and you can kind of see that a bond formed. And then Frank takes a dive for his buddy, saying, yeah, I banged that broad. He just
Sure.
put a finger up the butt. He covered for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Because they are
totally.
buddies.
I just noticed it's the two people that haven't won yet that are complaining. Just throwing that out there.
Maybe sour
Bitter
grapes.
much?
I was just kidding about
No, I
Shove
just
It
want to see
too.
what they consider a buddy film.
Well, okay,
We'll
it's,
find out.
it's a buddy
No,
film
no, 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 no,
technically,
no, no,
but I'm not impressed by the level of buddy.
Of buddiness.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
but,
I
we,
mean,
but we said you could eat a dick, Kenzie.
That-
So.
I mean,
You might later tonight.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next issue.
I can't feel my legs.
Next issue.
Next issue. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Here's that.
But okay, there.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Okay,
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna put it back on the thing, and it's back on the thing.
So Denmark's apparent sexual liberatedness versus America's relatively puritanical attitudes towards sex. What the fuck? Can we solve that issue right now?
Well, it's just America's deal that Americans aren't, in the media at least, they find violence totally fine, but
They're afraid of
sex
sexuality.
is, yeah. There's somebody who's quoted, and I forget the quote's from, that you can't show somebody licking a nipple, but you show them biting it off.
Ew.
Well, I mean,
Anything with nipples.
dude, Vinnie Jones and
makes me
Midnight
like-
Meat Train.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I don't.
right.
It's just something in America, because the people who settled America were Puritans, and I think somehow, even though that would seem odd in this day and age, what they sort of brought to this country established sort of a rule in this country what was morally acceptable, and we're still following those rules today on some level. I mean, at least. I mean, and even the people who are down with the more because obviously none of us were offended by this movie, but the people who are more accepting to the things like us, it's still based on the structure of what you can still see what's pushing the envelope. Like we can appreciate in this movie that like an American movie wouldn't make it like you wouldn't make it like this.
Well, I
Like,
think,
if
it's,
they
I
make
think it's
this-
just the religiosity of America versus pretty much anywhere in Europe, specifically like Northern Europe.
yeah.
Because it's just like they're so much more secular than we are, and just Bible thumping USA, it's not something that we've been able to get around yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
it's still a big. It's still even though it's an
Like,
outdated
yeah.
thing, it's still a big thing in this country.
Yeah, for whatever, and I don't know if being founded by Puritans is really where it comes from. It's just like wherever it comes from. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
I
pretty
say
much we're a pretty big
puritanical,
melting pot, like from a whole bunch of immigrants from all over the world, mostly Europe, but
Too many
when it started
from
off.
Christendom.
Well, but it's all the religion, though. Just
It
like
is-
you said,
yeah,
it's the
it
it's
totally
the,
comes
it's
down to
sticking to. So I'm saying that even people who don't necessarily follow the religion still, they still use that concept as like a watermark for the morality of what is and isn't permissive in society when it comes to sex,
Sure.
and sexuality.
Yeah, it's a tuned-up version of what we normally know is moral, so that you can make other people feel bad.
right. Like even like say people who might have a problem with homosexuality would still be like they would still see it as being morally wrong, even if they didn't. Like some people be totally against it, but even people who aren't against it might still see it as being because there's sort of this concept of what is right and wrong.
Sure,
And that's
that-
based
and that
on
just that's
an outdated
opening up
religious
a
thing.
whole other can of worms of like
Yeah.
what is morality and where do we get our morals from, and
That
like
is
when
a
you find
podcast
something
for another day.
immoral, like
Yeah, for
are you
real.
really thinking for yourself, or are you just accepting society's definition of what you should be considering moral?
Well,
Yeah,
I
It goes
also
way down
I
the
also
rabbit
kind
hole.
of think too, like on some level. I mean, this is also shock comedy on some level, and part of the reason it is so sort of funny and you get such big laughs out of it is that you are kind of dealing with stuff that really is kind of shocking to see
Yeah.
dealt with in public, and
Sure.
that's
No,
got to be
I
the
totally
case
love
in
the
Denmark
body
as
of
well.
Well, yeah, even
You
though
know?
it's more permissive there, obviously this would still be shocking
Yeah,
that's the humor's
yeah,
coming from.
So, but yeah, I guess we'll never know why America loves violence and hates sex.
Yeah,
Exactly. It just doesn't make any
That's
sense.
just yeah.
Is it possible to be a drug-addled pervert and still be a good dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, then we
Yeah,
put that
there
one
you
right
go.
to bed. Fucking A.
You got it.
Moving on. You heard it here
Bam.
first. The henpeck dynamic. Should people compromise in relationships or should people who aren't compatible just split? Because the thing with Frank and his wife slash the mother of his child to be, I got the impression that like he really is in one of these relationships where, and not being married and not having been married, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like there's a very real dynamic that exists in many relationships where it's like
One's missing it.
The guy is pretty much whatever the wife says goes.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like talk any kind of like MRA shit or anything like that. But what I'm saying is I would imagine a relationship like that, like there's got to be give like and take, and somebody who's like with somebody who's just, like, oh, well, I just got to do, whatever. I mean, unless you're a submissive kind of person and that's what you're looking for. I mean, but if it's causing problems in your life, are you really with the right person?
I think in every relationship, there's going to be a giver and a taker. I think there's always somebody who's a little more giving, somebody's a little more taking, but you want balance. Like it's got to be compromise. I mean, the best relationships are partnerships.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just like you said about
That's
being
what I'm
friends too. I mean, you want that to be, the give and take, and that you want there to be compromise, and that is the best thing. But then people take advantage of that. I think she's also got him kind of over the barrel too, because if he really wants to be a father, like I had a friend who he was with a girl that they should have broken up a long time ago, but then she got pregnant. And they decided to get married and give it a go because he wanted to be a father and he wanted to be a family man. And he thought that it would fix their relationship, that when the kids showed up, everything would be fine. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And I think Frank, for him, obviously, because he fought so hard for me, how many dudes out there, or even here in the Cinemarijuana Theatre, if they found out their significant other pregnant, would be like, oh, you're getting an abortion. But with him,
I think just me.
Fire up the shop vac.
But with him, like, obviously he wanted to be a father, and so I think he was willing to put up with a lot of bitchcraft to get that done.
I mean, okay. So then, is he using his wife as a means to an end?
Well, no, because I think it's sort of I don't know. Like I said, there's no selfless acts. I mean, I think wanting to have a kid. It's not like he's using her for that.
He's allowing himself to be used.
Well, I think it's kind of the same thing too. Is I think that he pictures like it would fix the dynamic. It would shift it over to a family dynamic.
He takes one for the team.
Right.
Yeah.
But how surprising was it that she was like, "I'm about to dump this shit if you don't straighten out and fly right"?
Yeah.
I was
I was pretty shocked by that.
I was surprised because I'm like, that's really progressive, and like I can't believe like they're just so like comfortable with it because that's totally rad.
That and then the part with the gay stuff were the only parts that really surprised me in the movie, where I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by anything else, but when she's like, "I'm about to dump our baby out the window,"
The dick?
Well, I think for me it
the
was
dick I didn't even
only
find
the,
surprising either.
Only the abortion thing, because I would figure that usually
Balls.
they'd be like, I'm just gonna take care of it myself.
Yeah.
But she was going straight for the
Maybe
straight for the
career
straight for the
woman.
straight for the ripcord on that one.
straight for the coat hanger.
Okay, all right. Is this film a hit piece on marriage?
Oh, rad.
It's a shit piece on marriage.
I say
I
yes.
don't know what that means. Does this film assail criticism? Assail the institution of marriage with criticisms? Is that what that says? Is that what's going on here?
Well,
I might need to get a little bit more information on who thought up that question and why.
Well, I
need to hear the pro argument.
The Cinemarijuana
first.
Brain Trust collectively came up with that. Well, no, the premise is that these dudes, I don't know, that they have such a natural inclination to do things that are so sort of destructive, I guess, but it's also like their nature, kind of.
Well, it seems like as long as there's been things they've been doing humor about marriage and relationships, that's the thing. Like the wives are a pain in the ass, and the guys are running around and being idiots.
But isn't that really like an outdated and like warped like?
Well, you tell me.
I mean, is real life really like? Because it's like the Married with Children thing.
No, well, but I
like,
think it's
I'll
an
tell you.
exaggeration. Humor comes a lot
I'll
of
tell
the
you
time.
right fucking now.
Yeah,
Actually, lay it
So
down,
I'm
man.
just saying yes.
Talk that
Yeah, well,
sass.
see, right.
It absolutely can be, but it's like anything. It can also not be. It's just
It just depends.
dude. It's a legal binding document. That's what a marriage is.
It's a legally
Make no
binding
mistake.
contract.
It is.
You're inviting the government into your personal life.
Yes, that's true. Well,
How the
so
fuck would you wanna do
Well, I
that?
would say then, but on to the question, I mean, in the end, the way the movie, and obviously, I mean, I don't think, because, you know, it's not like Casper isn't going to run around with his wife, but, I mean, Frank, isn't this more his story? I mean, he toes the line, and in the end, he becomes, in theory, the husband and the dad.
but isn't he only towing the line because he's afraid he's going to get in trouble? It's
No.
kind of like that morality thing. Are you
No,
only
no, I know.
behaving because you fear
No.
reprisal?
No, because he tried to be good. I mean, other than the brothel, where I don't know if that was like he figured that was like getting a pass on some level. It wasn't like it's the motivation. It wasn't like, oh, like I got to do this shit because my stupid bitch of a girlfriend wants me to do it. He really wanted to do it. He wants to be a good father, and he wants to toe the line. He's not like he's not having sex with the girls and trying to hide it from his girlfriend on the
Right.
two-headed pussy. He's trying to avoid that shit.
He did finger a butt though.
Yeah,
but
he
not
did.
but not
He
by
was
Under
peer
choice.
pressured.
Under a lot
Well,
of
you
pressure.
know, I
You're
would
never
say, too,
forced to
Listen,
finger a
listen,
butt,
the-
man.
the
Yeah.
man
The
turned
pressure.
down a free BJ.
But she made them pancakes.
That's the true test right there. He turns down a free BJ. I'm telling you that he was trying to be the good guy, and in the end, he is the good guy.
Well-
So I don't think the movie is necessarily against marriage
Quick-
as an institution.
Quick
It's
question,
a huge
then.
slam on feminism.
Is
though.
a finger in the butt cheating if you're pointing the finger?
I mean, it's just a finger.
I mean, if it's like a cancer,
I mean,
No.
well, given the circumstances, I'd say like he was in a weird position,
I don't know. Why were they all sleeping in bed together?
or maybe Ranya's got a small
Only
home.
one room left?
There has to
one
be
bed
a
left?
floor or a couch. I mean,
Has
I
to be
don't.
a floor.
I don't imagine a situation where, like, oh no,
A
like we'll just
hammock.
all climb into bed together.
Well, okay. Well,
Maybe it's a
Ranya might have been
Dutch
saying,
thing,
I don't
but-
know, man. I
Crazy
don't know.
Danish floorless houses.
Well, yeah, that's
But,
why he couldn't
uh,
lay down next to the bed with a
just
pillow
like a-
and a blanket.
So,
like a stream.
so is this film a hit piece on marriage?
I say no.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
think
saying
so.
no.
Move
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, get this. Here, the next question.
Get a load of this one.
Hear this.
Spider-Man, strangely absent. What gives?
From the movie,
Yeah.
yeah, no Spider-Man, huh?
What?
You know, I thought someone was going to give somebody the Spider-Man, but that
I'm
didn't
pretty
happen
su-
either.
Chris, I'm pretty sure you're actually the one that suggested that question as well.
Man.
And now
I
you
should
seem the
point
most
out we were
bewildered.
probably
This is
pretty
balls
high when we
deep.
wrote these questions, so.
Yeah, all right.
I think that was a joke. I can't believe you
No,
wrote
it
that
was.
down.
It was. It just didn't do very well.
But you know what?
No, no.
Yeah,
I
wait.
think it was like a joke.
But
Like,
what
hey, we
gives?
should ask why.
Yeah. It was
Why
why,
Spider-Man
yeah, why
was
did he
in-
swing
in
into
this
town?
movie?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, you should actually write down. Oh, never mind.
Spider-Man, the sex move. I'm
Yes.
assuming.
Yeah, isn't everything better with Spider-Man?
Is there one of those?
Yeah,
Not the
that's when
guy.
you jerk off in your hand and then fling it in the chick's face.
Ew.
It's Spider-Man. It's like web fluid.
Hey, Siri.
All right. What is compelling about cringe comedy?
Yeah, hey, actually,
I
let's
think it's
go-
just like you have to question like, should I be laughing at this? It's kind of well, I don't know. Maybe that's not quite like cringe comedy.
Am
It's
I
just
going to hell for laughing at this?
That might be a part of
maybe.
it, though.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if, it's like I think it's like when there are situations that you can easily picture yourself in, and they start to go south. And if it's plausible, if it's believable in any way, you feel the thing go south with the character.
It's kind of, yeah, it's like vicarious. You get to experience that without going through it.
yeah, from like a safe distance,
Yeah.
but you still can't help but emotionally be kind of dragged down with them.
Right. Well, hey, you picked it, Zeb. What attracted you about cringe comedy with this
I'm
movie?
sorry, I wasn't listening. What was the question?
Oh, Jesus. Check it out. Cringe comedy. What's the appeal?
Oh, it's great because you could put yourself in it,
Oh, yeah. see?
and you know, because in a society, we're under different social norms. Like I'm falling asleep over here,
I'm
but
sorry,
I can't.
sorry
I'm
we're
trying. I'm
boring
trying to
you.
wake. I'm trying to stay the fuck awake because as a society, I'm a guest in your house, and as a guest, I should be like mindful of the fact that I'm here and not that I'm like very fucking tired.
Are you okay,
So
man?
I'm staying the fuck up. But like in a cringe comedy, in that situation, I'd probably fall asleep and maybe have a wet dream or something.
Oh.
And that's cringe comedy because you could find yourself doing that at somebody's house.
Yeah, it's true.
Like waking up like,
I've
oh
done it.
shit, I got morning wood. That's all about cringe comedy, and that's what I love cringe comedy because we see ourselves in that. It's like Jackass or Tom Green. They do the stuff that we always pictured ourselves wanting to do. Or if we're in in a situation like that, how would it pan out? And it would probably pan out like it is in the film. That's why I love cringe comedy.
It's like putting on a mask, kind of, huh? Like,
Yeah.
Like Johnny Knoxville, they do that. They put on the mask, and then they can be that old person. They like take on that character, and they get away with shit.
Wait, are you saying you've always
Watch
wanted
it
a
with
race
your
car up your butt?
Oh,
I never wanted a
Oh.
race car up my butt, but I did have wanted a race card up my butt.
oh.
Okay.
That's a
I don't even
spicy
know what that
meatball.
That's a weird way to play the race card.
Indeed.
I heard that's what it's called. That's the name of the position.
Wastegate.
Yeah, no, I think that sums it up. I think because it's a mirror of our own
Yeah.
experience,
Vicarious
and
feeling.
it's easy to sort of get into it. All right, let's see. Well, what other type of comedy tickles your funny bone? I can start. I'll just start this one. We can just go
Rom-coms.
around.
She
Well-
started. She beat you to it.
I guess so. Yeah.
I was guessing what you were gonna say.
no, actually. Well, I'm a sucker for impressions, and I'm a sucker for like insult comedy, kind of like mean-spirited stuff, like where everybody's stupid, or like half the people are stupid, and it's just all about ripping on other people.
Kind of like Blackadder.
Like Blackadder, yeah. Like I just or like Alan Partridge. Like I just love that stuff.
which is also cringe comedy, Alan Partridge.
Yeah. But it's like fantastic. I don't know why that's really funny to me. And impressions, if they're done really well, I don't know. They're just super funny to me.
I like slapstick myself. I think that's a good, any kind of physical comedy is really funny. And there's a lot you can play with violence.
Zeb?
Comedies with words like the Marx Brothers.
Ah, yes.
They have a way with words.
Yeah, that's good too. Like witty, well-worded comedies. Yeah, that's why I like the Benny Hill show, because it's like basically half slapstick, goofy comedy, and then half really witty, wordy, well thought out.
His songs, his
comedy.
lyrics are.
Yeah, there's a lot of lyrical stuff with him with the songs. There's a lot of clever stuff too.
Kenzie?
I like rom-coms.
There you go.
What about Zom rom
There
coms?
you go.
You know, I like funny horror movies like Cabin Fever that are like scary but also hilarious. But
Right.
like newer ones.
Like Tucker and Dale.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You,
I
were.
wasn't here that week.
You should have been.
It's a good mix because the
That's
humor
common.
brings the edge off the
Chinese
horror.
Yeah. Raul, what about you?
From like extremism, like this film, where like Freddy got fingered and the jackass shit, Bad Grandpa, and then like,
You did not just bring up Freddy.
dude,
got
I will
Fingered is a
bring
good
up
thing.
Freddy got fingered every episode if I can.
That's a movie that I actually would revisit. I haven't seen it.
That's a
since
phenomenal
it's
film. The
actual
fact that it's
run.
not on a Criterion disc is a fucking crime.
Wow.
It's a fucking
Somebody
crime.
get
That
Tom
is a-
Green on the phone.
And then to like that,
show.
and then like surreal fucking like acid based anti-humor like Tim and Eric type shit. Like those two extremes of like
Yeah.
practically no comedy, which is why it's funny, to like dancing in a fucking deer in the middle of the road. in the
Yeah,
carcass.
yeah, it's kind of like
Jerking off a horse, you know?
deconstructionist almost, the way they'll sort of pare shit down to like one single element.
Tim
or-
and Eric trade in cringe comedy a lot too.
Yeah, they
Oh, big
do.
time.
They're
Oh, yeah.
masters
A lot
of
of
it. Yeah. What about you, Dr. Matlis?
I kind of like the deadpan stuff, you know?
Oh yeah,
I do like dry humor.
yeah,
A lot of British stuff's very dry.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
certainly.
Like, our British moms into the dry humor.
Yeah, I don't know that the delivery. Well, because I'm kind of thinking Faulty Towers, although he's a little over the top.
Yeah, but the, you know, it's
Christopher
funny, yeah.
Guest. Christopher Guest. That guy is a master.
Yeah,
of
his
deadpan.
movies
Absolutely.
very, very
Like
dry.
where you if you came in from the outside, you wouldn't know if he was kidding or not. You know, Spinal Tap. That's great deadpan stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Chris?
I don't know which one would be my favorite, but I want to give a mention to comedy mysteries because I think that's just a great genre, like Clue.
Like Clue?
and- yeah.
And Scooby Doo.
Hateful,
And the Condi Mystery.
and Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a dark comedy. Yeah, mystery kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, oh boy, save the best for last. Is a comedy of this caliber humanity's last line of defense against abject nihilism brought about by the abhorrent darkness of existence?
Did
Yes.
Raoul come up with that one?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah. I mean, is that really what's up? Is that why this is important?
Could you read the question again?
But
Yeah.
slower and with like hand
It
movements.
is a comedy of this caliber, humanity's last line of defense against abject nihilism brought about by the abhorrent darkness of existence.
Well, I think a comedy exists to kind of help people deal with reality. Kind of, it's one way to blow off some steam from whatever shitty things you're dealing with. Because real life ain't that funny very often.
Yeah.
The
So-
world is dark.
Right. And I mean, if this same situation happened in real life to somebody, it would not be as funny.
There would be jail time.
Right. Exactly.
Lots
a
of it.
lot of it.
Yeah.
Lots
Right.
of it.
And so I think on some level it's an outlet, it's an escape, it's it's a way to deal with things, and comedy is a good way to kind of slip things in that maybe it's almost the same thing like what Kenny just said about horror and comedy. The comedy can be the spoonful of sugar that gets the horror down, or in this situation, it's the spoonful of sugar that gets butt sex down.
To get sexual deviance, or
Right, yeah, or
depravity.
micropenis is down, but just
That
it's
kid would have grown up to be a school shooter. Definitely.
Even in Denmark,
Wow.
he'd be the first one.
Yeah.
or maybe he would have just come to the U.S. to shoot up a
Yeah,
school here.
you got to come here.
This is
the
that-
hip-
Personally-
The number one import.
yeah,
Yeah.
some of his Americans.
All
Personally, I
rage.
believe that the void is inescapable, regardless of how humorous an hour and a half could be.
I mean,
True.
I don't
I think it's an
any
hour
of
and a
us-
half well spent, though.
Absolutely.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are going to avoid the void,
Or avoid the noid.
I can't think of a better way to try to stave that off.
He hates
It's like
pizzas.
These imagine, if you will, little little islands outlying a black hole that are somehow
Comedy Islands.
you get a reprieve from the pull of the black hole.
the island of
Like,
yucks.
if you're getting sucked on a black hole, you can periodically stop on a little asteroid
And
and chill for a bit.
Right.
And
That's
get back to your spaghettification.
yes. That's
Sound like a
that's
little
this.
Which is really the most hilarious way to die.
That's got to be.
Well,
anything,
yeah, I
because
think
spaghetti's
so.
funny, so you can throw them to death.
yeah
hilarious.
Any food humor is a winner.
Actually, I think food humor is good because everybody can relate to it.
All right. Does anybody want to say something else about nihilism?
Did we get through all the questions?
I know Chris and myself follow Camus, and that we must embrace the absurd.
Yeah. It's like
I saw
Sisyphus.
Camus at SeaWorld over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
The
was,
great Camus show.
was he was he drinking?
No, he killed the trainer though.
Oh well, hey man, way to embrace the absurd, Camus.
Yeah.
Pretty absurd.
Fucking A. All right. Well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for us here. I will say
Wrap
that
it up.
this is gonna be an exclusive right now. We've got 2 weeks
Oh.
left. Tonight and
That's
next
right.
week will be the last two bromance pictures that we'll be watching, and then we'll have a week off, and then we'll be back with a brand new round of Cinema Under Glass where everyone will be eligible. We've been talking about it for a while and going back and forth and this and that, and this may be committing some type of career suicide here, but the next round of Cinema Under Glass is going to be Animal Antagonist. Every
See,
film,
okay, well, it's working.
every film must
Antagonist.
antagonist has to have
Yes.
an animal, and as if it needed to be said, humans don't count.
Creatures like a goblin guy.
As long as he's more monster, like Dracula's don't count.
What about
No
a
Dracula.
centaur?
Like a ghost? No.
Or like a
centaur
Godzilla.
would. No,
No,
but
you could. A Godzilla could count.
a Godzilla
Right?
would
Was it-
count.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A
No,
centaur-
because they are
no.
perhaps human.
Yeah.
Like mermaids wouldn't count neither.
What if
Yeah.
it's a reverse mermaid?
There's no.
Oh,
you
yeah, that
you
counts.
find me a movie with a reverse mermaid
Antagonist.
antagonist,
Yeah,
and you can show it.
Yeah,
What about
you-
the curse of reverse mermaid beach?
Steven, we won't even do the lottery, dude. You just fucking win. So we'll be having a full round of films. I'm trying to think what I'm going to show. I know there's one that Zeb and I probably have in mind at the same time.
No, not really.
See,
I know one of the ones I'm thinking of. You're going to come up when you start putting some thought into this.
The
I
Lion
know.
Does it have
King?
Ernest Borgnine?
The Lion
I
King
know.
would count.
I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't. But I don't want to give anything away, so I'm going to shut up. But
I
know.
thought of one right away, which I might do, but then it's like, maybe I should put a little extra thought into it.
Yeah,
That's,
I
That's what I'm starting to
requires
think now.
Because my go-to movies has like Phyllis Diller and Ernest Borgnine in it. So.
Oh my
That
god!
sounds
Dude, how could
awesome.
you go wrong? Well, we one of the reasons we thought about not doing this is because we were like, is it possible that this theme can transcend like schlock? You know what I mean? Like, is it like
gonna be all horror and,
what was the last film that won an Oscar in terms of like acting, directing, script that featured an animal antagonist?
Yeah, right. Academy
you
Award
know,
goes
I don't
to.
know.
I mean, even
Was there
something
an
like The
evil pig
Revenant
that they had to
doesn't
deal
count.
with?
Do like aliens count?
Yeah.
Aliens would count.
Rad.
Yeah, I think.
What about like
You're
mummies?
giving me
No.
shit.
No.
No,
those are
Nobody's now they're
humans.
gonna say
Vampires?
aliens count as animals. Fuck you guys.
Okay, no.
Whoa.
Okay, no.
I'll pick a movie with an animal protagonist.
Well, as long as an
Well, you can do that,
antagonist,
too.
And then
So-
argue that it's an antagonist.
So
do that?
werewolves?
No.
Like no Jacobs, right?
What about Manitars?
No.
No.
If it's 50% human or more, no.
well,
the
I
top
guess
half
that
human.
does rule out aliens.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, no aliens.
Okay, there you go.
Nothing from no alien like xenomorphs, no aliens from outer space.
Yeah, nothing like that. It's got to be like from Earth.
It's
What
gotta
about a
be-
shapeshifter?
okay.
So
It's gotta be
Nuki's out
urban.
of the equation.
no,
Yes, no
no
Nuki.
shapeshifters.
And hey, you know what, Zeb? For the record, we determined it was a buddy movie. I mean, it's
Nuki?
only no yours. There was only two dissenting opinions. I think
And those
for
are the
most
two that
part.
did not get picked.
Well,
Steam.
So okay, so yeah, no aliens.
Yeah.
No aliens, and
Yeah.
no if it's an Earth-based monster, it cannot be half human or more.
yeah.
Or
No
in
man,
the
bear,
skies of a
pigs.
human,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Pennywise.
Right. Exactly.
And no Nicolas Cage in a bear suit.
that doesn't count
God
either.
fucking damn it! There goes my.
Yeah, and remember the antagonist isn't just
can't just
a bad animal featured in
Right.
the film.
It
has
can't
to
be like someone gets bit by a dog one time during the movie.
No, that's why I was saying that something like The Revenant wouldn't count.
Right.
Like while
Exactly, that's a perfect
there is a
example.
bear that does antagonize the lead character, it's by antagonist we mean the
Primary antagonist,
in
which
the,
in that
in the
movie would be
narrative
Tom
sense,
Hardy.
and in every like narrative, except for
Okay, I
weird
got three picks.
off the wall ones.
Nice.
There's like a somebody or something is the source of adversity for the hero.
All
It
right,
can't be
well,
multiple animals.
It could be
Oh,
as
yeah.
long as they're animals.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
Multiple
pack
animals, sure.
hunters?
You know what I mean? Like
Can it be Donald Pleasance?
For instance, yes, pack hunters.
well, he
Only if
could
he's
be
providing the
in
voice
it.
to an animal.
Well, there is that Argento film where he's got that chimp, but the chimp is on the. It's
The
not
chimp
the
is a good
antagonist.
chimp.
Every
It's a
which way
good
but
chimp.
loose.
No,
that
those
doesn't
aren't the
count
antagonists.
either.
Unless
he's not the
he's
antagonist.
being menaced by like a chimpanzee truck
Is there
driver.
an evil chimp? Congo
I don't
would
know.
count
Yeah.
because the apes. There's evil apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Well, I guess the big question
Yeah,
then
well,
is
no, they're 50% human, man.
Oh,
Come on, look at those things. It's Roddy McDowell in a mask.
God damn it.
Planet of the Apes would count though,
Yeah.
No, the new one would count where they're apes, but not the old one.
Oh, wait.
because
what?
they're humanimals.
They're humanimals. You can't tell me those things aren't like half human.
Aren't
But
they
they're
supposed
apes.
to be
Well,
apes though?
They're apes.
It's
They're-
just a dude in a mask. All right, okay, fine, it counts.
Oh,
It
this is
counts.
another
It
podcast,
counts.
though.
I think the big
Yeah.
question
But I
is.
think that's a pretty shitty pick.
I just think the ultimate question is.
Unless you do one of the two new ones where they're literally
Shots
apes.
Fired.
I just think the ultimate question is: will we see Jaws?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
This is just all a ploy just to see Jaws. Isn't
yeah,
it?
somebody's not.
Or
You should just say, "Hey, the next theme is Jaws."
or was the question which Jaws will we
Wouldn't
see?
that be funny if we ended up seeing all four?
dude.
Like-
aw, now you
Jurassic
ruined it.
Park.
I tell you what,
There
if,
goes the
if I was
show.
going to pick a Jaws film, I wouldn't pick the first one just because it'd be too predictable.
I'd pick 6.
There was no 6.
Yeah, I would pick 3 or 4.
With Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah,
I've heard
it's-
Burt Reynolds was a animal in the bedroom. Is
It's
that
pretty hairy.
Actually,
Oh, that
if
counts.
you've seen the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, you know that's the real deal.
Also, any Robin Williams film counts.
because of
Yeah.
his hair coverage.
right. He's
Yeah.
mostly ape.
Yes.
He's more than.
He's 51 or greater percent.
Yeah.
He is actually a great ape.
He was feral. He was a feral child.
Unlike
Those people
Cosby,
don't
who's a
know.
rape ape.
Oh, dude, yes. Although I guess he walked recently. Anyways, all
Yeah,
right.
sure.
So we'll GTFO for this week, and we'll be back next week to talk about whatever the fuck we see tonight.
So
Nachos.
make sure to follow us
Yeah, the SoundCloud,
on SoundCloud.
and we're on YouTube on Toothless Richard Productions.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And check out our Facebook.
And, yeah, more
Go
on the way.
to
Walker,
our
Texas
website is coming soon.
Yeah, Walker, Texas,
Twitter.
Rancor on the
Rancor.
way.
Yeah,
Did about
so
that.
So many things coming from the Cinemarijuana Theatre soon. We'll get more info as time goes on.
Yes. All right. Well, so for the Cinemarijuana Theater, I'm Ed.
Oh, I'm Zeb.
He's falling asleep. I'm John.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm Raul.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
All right. We'll be back
I'm
next
just
week.
landed.
Thanks for listening. R.I.P. Condi.